Cyber espionage allegations. We're joined by Jia Xiudong, Senior Research Fellow at the China Institute of International Studies. Thanks for joining us, sir. Let's get straight into it. As we've been reporting, the U.S. Justice Department indicted 5 members of the Chinese military on charges of hacking into computers and allegedly stealing trade secrets from steel, nuclear, and solar firms. Now, this is the first time that the U.S. has leveled such criminal charges against a foreign country. What do you think is the significance of this?
The indictment, the news of the indictment is shocking and surprising. That's why the Chinese government and military have reacted very strongly against the indictment. And there is now very strong response on the Chinese side. And there is in the report and the response of the government, they describe the move by the U.S. side as hypocritical and double standard. They used all these to phrase the U.S. move. So it will have a great impact on Sino-U.S. relations.
But before we get to that, China, as we said, having a very strong reaction today, reportedly summoning the U.S. ambassador, Max Baucus, over the hacking charges. And according to a statement by the Foreign Ministry, China has decided to suspend the activities of the Sino-U.S. cyber working group due to what it called the lack of sincerity by the U.S. to cooperate to solve cybersecurity problems through dialogue. What do you make of the suspension of the Sino cyber group?
That shows the resentment, indignation of the Chinese side in regard to the U.S. move on this indictment. And for the Chinese side, the Chinese government, foreign ministry spokesman, defense ministry spokesman, have time and again categorically rejected the accusation of Chinese cyber theft of U.S. trade. And they said in very clear words that the Chinese government, the Chinese military, and their personnel have not engaged or participated in cyber theft of trade secrets of the U.S., period. So they have made that very clear, but still the United States government proceeded with this accusation against the Chinese government. So the Chinese government has to suspend the working group on cyber security. That's kind of a sign of impact of this U.S. move on China-U.S. relations.
So how is this going to impact China-U.S. relations further? The Strategic and Economic Dialogue meeting is scheduled for July. Do you think that for a start, is still going to take place?
There is already a lack of mutual trust between the two sides. And the U.S. latest move actually will add to that kind of mistrust. And they will make dialogues between the two sides more difficult. And that will actually have not any positive impact on the bilateral relations. And the Chinese side may take further action in response when the situation evolves. So that's worrisome for how we can proceed with the dialogue cooperation between the two sides.
Taking it away from a state level. Sir, taking it away from the state level, how does this really impact relations between U.S. businesses in China and non-state-owned businesses, Chinese mainland non-state-owned businesses in the U.S.? How do you think that's going to impact those private companies?
Well, we know the revelations by whistleblower Snowden of the extensiveness of the U.S. government's military's cyber surveillance against the whole world. And China has released data, facts about how the United States is hacking into Chinese government agencies, universities, businesses, and even private citizens. And so China is actually alerted by the U.S. action. And actually, the United States is doing what it is accusing the Chinese side of doing. So the Chinese side has to take action to protect its own cybersecurity. And we have known that the Chinese side announced that it will not allow the Chinese government, state-owned companies to use the Windows 8.
Right.
Their question, they are concerned about the Chinese cybersecurity. It's actually very vulnerable to the U.S. hacking because the U.S. actually has the most advanced technology in cyber technology and actually has the most advanced hacking capability around the world.
Well, certainly a very contentious topic, one we'll be following very closely. We are going to have to leave it there for now, though. Thank you very much.